What's up guys, Meredith with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we're checking out the Raxium Axial Series 40-inch 240 watt white and amber combo LED light bar with the windshield mounting brackets fitting all 2021 and newer Ford Broncos. This will be a great option for you if you want a lot of light, whether it's for the statement that it makes, the safety purposes of the amber, if you're frequently out in poor conditions, or you need all of that additional light for night drives on dark back roads or off-road where your headlights just don't cut it. The combo of amber and white within the light bar will allow you to have both, not having to pick between the two if you want the best of both color choices in a slim and modern looking light bar. Now this will span across the windshield 40 inches as it says in the name and bolt onto the factory mounting points in the windshield, which not only offers a simple install process with no modifications, but it also puts the light bar at a high angle to take advantage of the amount of light that's being thrown at that higher point. This has a 240 watt output consisting of 46 watt high intensity LEDs that are going to produce a bright white and warm amber light that will make you as a driver very noticeable when the amber is on in poor conditions, but more importantly will light up the road in front of your Bronco significantly compared to the factory lighting. Now in addition to the strength of the lighting, the combo beam of the middle spot lighting and the outer wide beam will create a great balance of filling those outer edges of your view from the driver's seat while simultaneously throwing a lot of light far down the center for better distance. Now those qualities produce a better field of view and clear visibility, improving your Bronco's capability at night. Now the whole package here will be sturdy as far as the construction goes. The light bar itself will have an aluminum housing, so it's going to offer a lot of strength, but it's also a great material for heat dispersion, keeping the lights inside running efficiently. Now the housing will also have a nice textured black powder coat finish on top that's going to resist any corrosion on the aluminum and is very helpful because that's going to be exposed to the elements constantly. And speaking of the elements, it's also going to be completely weatherproof with an IP68 rating. Now the lens on the front is made of a polycarbonate construction. This is going to be a tough plastic that's impact resistant, so even if it does get whacked by a branch or a rock from someone's tires in front of you, it is going to hold up very well. The windshield mounting brackets will also be tough, made of a powder coated steel material, and the kit's going to come with a full wiring harness, so you can avoid any additional wiring. It is going to be completely plug and play, and it comes with a nice rocker switch so you can turn on and off the light. Now this is very affordable for what it is, around $260 for the entire package. Now some of the great features about this are the slim design, the dual function, and the fact that this is going to throw a lot of light without hesitation, improving your front end's performance at night. Now accessory lighting can range big time, but compared to other light bars, this is going to have a uniform design to the lens, as to where some may have the combo setup of amber and white, where they're going to have the amber and white lens on there all the time, but this you can pick between each light and not have to worry about a lens, again giving it that uniform appearance. So if you want the combo but you also want that sleek look for the top of your Bronco, then that's going to make this a great pick for you. Install is directly bolt-on with the factory mounting points and requires no modification, so it's going to get a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Now again, there is some wiring, but it's all plug and play. Mostly it's just routing and organizing all the wires, so at best it should take you about an hour or so. Now at this point we can head over to our shop, check out a detailed breakdown on how you can get this onto your Bronco at home. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and jump into the install.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, a 10mm ratcheting wrench, diagonal cutters, a trim remover tool, a 10mm socket, a T30 Torx socket, and a 6mm Allen socket. What's up guys? Today we're installing a light bar on our Bronco, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is pop off these covers at the top of our windshield. There's a black tab in the middle right back here that you're going to push in and then lift up. And then that will reveal these two nuts. So you're going to take a 10mm socket and pull those out. And then with that removed, we can wiggle off our bracket and install our new one. And then we're just gonna take those factory nuts and just thread those on hand tight for now. And then we can get our light bar installed, and once that's in place, then we can go back and fully tighten these down. So next we can mount our light bar to our brackets. You're gonna have the wire coming down on the passenger side. And then we can thread our bolt in. So now we can take our Allen head bolt with a lock washer and flat washer and go through the bracket and thread into the hole in the light bar. And then I'm just gonna straighten this up and take a 6mm Allen socket to tighten it down. And then do that same thing on the other side. Now we can go back and tighten down our nuts. I'm gonna take a 10mm ratcheting wrench, tighten those down. And then do that same thing on the other side. Next, we're gonna have to come down to our mirror. We're gonna remove this T30 bolt right behind our antenna. We're also gonna have to pop our antenna out. Now you can use an adjustable wrench on this, but they're usually able to be twisted off by hand. Now we'll take a T30 torque socket to remove that bolt. Now we can take a plastic pry tool to pop up our cowl here. And now we're just gonna run this wire down the windshield, through here, and into our engine bay. And now I'm just gonna lift up on the hood to grab that and pull it through into the engine bay. Next we can take the adhesive clips. We're gonna put this over the wire. And then we'll peel that double-sided tape backing and lay it down onto our windshield. And then we're just gonna do that 3 more times. I'm gonna put the last one down here right next to the wiper so that we can keep it away from it. Make sure that wire doesn't get caught in our wiper blade. And then we can put our cowl back down. And then we'll thread that Torx bolt back into place. And then we'll take our T30 torque socket and tighten that down. And then we can thread our antenna back into that threaded hole. So now with our light bar all mounted up, now we have to do our wiring. I've got our harness laid across the engine bay, kind of how it's gonna go. I've got our switch that's gonna be running through this grommet right back here and into the cabin. We're gonna do that first. And then up by our battery, we have our 2 battery terminal connectors. And then I've got the connector that's gonna connect up to our light bar running to the other side. So now we can run our switch through our grommet right down here. Now, what you should do is take a razor blade and cut a slit in the grommet to pass this through. For demonstration purposes, I'm not gonna be doing that. I'm just gonna be pulling on the grommet to pop it out of place, and then we can slide this through. Now we might have to make note of which wires go to which post here so that we can remove the switch to get this to be a little smaller to pass through, but we're gonna try this first. So now we can go into the cabin and grab that switch and place it in our final position. So now we can come into the cabin. I grabbed our switch off the floor. Now this is when you wanna definitely make note of which wires are going to which post. You could take a picture of this, or you could use a marker to mark all of these a different color, however you see fit. Then we're gonna pull all these wires off. You're gonna trace out the outline of this rectangular portion here, and you're gonna have to Dremel a hole into this cover here, somewhere wherever you'd like to put it. Now for demonstration purposes, I'm not gonna be drilling into this, so I'm gonna run it underneath this panel, and we have a nice spot right next to our steering wheel that isn't gonna be in the way of anything, where we can just hang this switch. So now we can just let this hang out right here, and we can go connect everything up. So now we can come back to the engine bay. I've got the wire with the connector that's gonna connect to our light bar, and I'm just gonna use some of the included zip ties to zip tie it to this harness running across the back of our engine bay, and I'll keep it all nice and out of the way of everything. And once you have that zip tie on, take a pair of scissors or diagonal cutters and cut off the excess of that zip tie. And then just do that same thing working across. And then I'm just gonna run this kind of snaked in between all these larger connectors back here. And then that will bring us over to the other side. We can plug in our connector. I'm gonna run this wire right under this little clip. And then we can take all of our excess wire, bunch it up, and grab one more zip tie. I'm gonna run this back behind the coolant reservoir. And then we can just neatly tuck this away. Next we can come to our battery. We're gonna be connecting our 2 terminal connectors, and then we can zip tie all of this excess harness up and be done with it. So we're gonna start with our positive. We have this tab here to pop off this cover. And then you can grab a 10mm socket. We're gonna remove one of these nuts and then throw our connector on top of that. And thread the nut back on, tighten it back down. And then you can just kind of bend that wire down, close your cover. And now just do that same thing on the negative here. And now we can just run this wire, zip tie it up. So I'm gonna run it behind our fuse box here. And I'll just bunch up all the excess wire and take one more zip tie. And then cut off the excess with some diagonal cutters. And then we can just tuck it back here out of the way. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Raxium Axial Series 40-inch 240-watt white/amber combo LED light bar with windshield mounting brackets for your 2021 and newer Bronco. Thank you for watching, and for all things Bronco, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.